Nairobi, mid-March 1975. Kenyans waking up that day would have had no idea that it was going to be one of the most dramatic days in the history of the Republic of Kenya. At Parliament buildings, already the secretaries and typists were there typing away, typing answers which are going to be answered in the House on the floor in the afternoon. One of the questions that was going to be answered was the government was going to respond on a persistent question from the members of Parliament about the whereabouts of the MP for Nyandarua North, J.M. Kariuki. But to kick off the events of the day was a very unique Kenyan, a policeman actually. I say unique because very few Kenyans do the right thing, whatever the consequences. Well, this policeman was about to do the right thing. He had seen a body at the mortuary and claimed which had landed there 12 days earlier. And it was unidentified, but he was about to make a house call somewhere in the Kilimani area. And that house was situated on Rose Avenue. Actually, he was risking everything. He was even risking his life in making this particular house call. He reached the house, found the anxious wife, and told her that there was a body at the mortuary which had been unidentified, and that it may be a good idea, since she was looking for a husband, just to go and look at it and see. Well, it could be wrong, it could be right. It was just a good idea for her to check, at least to go and check and rule out that possibility. Of course, the policeman knew very well whose body that was. So the lady prepared herself quickly and rushed to the mortuary. Now, I wonder whether that policeman prepared that poor lady for what she was about to see. It was such a long time ago. Memories fade, other emotions came in and clouded things, so the details can be a bit difficult to get out of people. But what she saw at the mortuary, even if she had been told, she would not have been prepared for. The man lying on the cold slab at the mortuary still had his socks on, still had his scarf on. His scarf was twisted slightly to the side. Fingers were missing, some front teeth missing. He had been bruised on the lips. Eyes had been gouged out. The body also had bullet wounds. But even with all this, she immediately identified who that person was. And to confirm for positive ID, she identified a mark which very few people would have known about, which was on the inner upper part of the thigh of the deceased. Yes, these were the remains of Josiah Mwangi Kariuki, at that time the Member of Parliament for Nyandarua North. But that was only the beginning of the drama. But before we move on, let us take a look, or let us highlight the first very important clue as to who the killers of J.M. Kariuki were. The label on his foot read, "Unclaimed body of a Luo gangster." Unclaimed body of a Luo gangster. Hold on to that body, hold on to that thought. Hold on to that thought as we proceed. Now, J.M. Kariuki had two wives. When the second wife got to the mortuary, she found out something very interesting. First of all of a sudden, everybody in the morgue was trying to tell her there was no such body as the one she was looking for. But she was persistent. And then she noticed people trying to push a body out of the window. Of course, the whole idea was to make the body disappear. You know, no body, no crime, no accusations, no drama, etc., etc., etc. Yeah? You know, this life is very interesting. Sometimes you can do things, bad things, and want to hide them. And the guy upstairs just says no. And everything goes wrong. One thing after the other goes wrong to thwart all your plans to hide this evil that you have done. This is exactly what happened in the death of J.M. Kariuki. Others would add that if he was a bad man, maybe the man upstairs would not have gone into such trouble as to interfere with this effort by very powerful people to make sure those remains were never found, never identified. But the truth of the matter, without glorifying the dead, is that J.M. was a good man. In fact, he was too good, and that's one of the reasons why he died. Let's shift the action to Parliament. We're in the afternoon session. Leader of government business and Vice President of the Republic of Kenya, Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, stands up to answer the question on James' whereabouts. And before he opens his mouth, screams, piercing, high-pitched, very loud screams come from the public gallery. Everybody's attention shifts there. Then one of the women there screams, "Stop lying to Kenyans. His body is at the mortuary." Of course, Vice President was about to stand up and say yet again that James Kariuki was in Zambia on official business. Eyewitnesses say Daniel Arap Moi was crushed. Yeah, he opened and shut his mouth like a fish breathing for air. According to one eyewitness, when he could recover himself, he said the following words: "If this is indeed true, then Kenya is in danger." What followed in the next few hours, days, and weeks can only be described by one English word: pandemonium. But before I start to unravel for you the inner workings, the secrets, the whispers, and really what was behind this heinous crime, let us shift. Let's do a flashback into the 2nd of March inside the Hilton Hotel, the last place where James Kariuki was seen alive. One man walked into the hotel where James was, and that man sat down very briefly, and then they walked out. And as they walked out, James stopped. This was his joint, and everybody there knew him, and he knew everybody. So he called this young man from Ukambani, and he removed his checkbook and started writing out a check. Those who had come to pick him up, including one very highly trained police officer, come paramilitary thug, highly trained, did not know what James really was doing. The guy was smart. We've got to give that to him. Actually, what he was doing, he was not writing a check. Or rather, if he wrote the check, there was something more important he was doing. At the back of that check, he was writing the identity of the 3 people who had come to pick him up. He wrote down their names in a note. Now you can catch the rest of this recording as a member of Club 1999. The recording of this particular episode, and indeed the whole series, is available to my members of Club 1999. Now it's very easy to become a member of Club 1999. All you need to do is go right now to club1999ke.blogspot.com, and you'll see there details of how you can become a member. Anyway, in closing this recording, I want to share some very fascinating information with you. As some of you might know, I completed a series the other day on the assassination of Tom Mboya. I named those who had assassinated him. I gave great detail on exactly how the assassination was executed. Not guesswork, Eyewitness reports, proof, documentation, etc., etc. Now, I completed that series, and if you listen to that series, I told you at the end of it, I felt a great relief. Now, after that relief, something struck my mind, and I went right back to the Kumekucha blog. Now, something that I forgot to mention to you, I did not want to hide it, but I just escaped my mind to mention it. There was so much detail, so many things, Anyway, something I omitted to mention to you was that during my 15 years plus research and investigation into the killers and the murder, assassination of Tom Mboya, I had a bit of help. No, actually a lot of help. When I started writing my series on the blog, I got an anonymous person who was giving me tips. Pointing me in the right direction. And that was a great help. Now, let me just not bore you with the details, but what I can tell you is that it really helped me, because she could write in the comments area, just in the blog, she could write in the comments area, or rather they would write in the comments area what they wanted, the direction they wanted to point to me. When I went wrong, they would point out, say, no, look in this direction, blah, 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 and so on. That was a great help. But what I want to draw your attention to are 2 things. One, the murder and assassination, heinous as it was, terrible, of James Kariuki, is linked to the assassination of Tom Mboya. When you go through the whole, that's what I'd advise, go through the whole series I've done on Tom Mboya. then as you begin to take in this JM saga, it will all come to you. It will be so clear. It will be as clear as daylight. Because the players were the same people in the seats of power, same people, carrying out the things and so on. Yeah, you'll be able to see it very, very clearly. Okay, that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say, because I know you're very curious, is that it hit me all of a sudden. Yeah, and I'm going to share this with you. It hit me all of a sudden who that person was. Because some of the information they were sharing with me, very few people would have known. I'll just give you one example. That person told me that on the day, I'm talking now about Tom Mboya, on the day the man was shot, security personnel got into his office, actually broke into his office, and stole a few things, including a manuscript he was working on, etc., etc., etc. Yeah? That led me to conclude, and I think you can already conclude, what the identity of that anonymous person helping me was. And I don't think I'm wrong on that one. I believe it was Pamela Mboya, the wife of Tom Mboya. Okay? So let me just leave it at that. That's just a small thing I wanted to share with you, that I had help. I like to tell the truth. Yeah? I had a lot of help. I'm not a very bright person, but at least I had a lot of help. Yeah, where anybody would have been able to make the progress I did. Anyway, now we're on the JM assassination. I'm going to give it even more attention than I did the previous one. There are a lot of details. I've done a lot of research. You're going to enjoy it. There are a lot of things which have never been revealed before, which I'm going to reveal. In fact, if you go immediately right now to Club 1999, you'll be able to start seeing these things. That's why I advise you strongly to become a member. As I said, it's very easy. You can already see the link or the name of the site where you're supposed to go, and you'll get all the details, including a recording where I talk about the club. Okay? So thank you very much. This is Chris Kumekucha.